Good Thursday morning. This is 106.1 KYVZ. Joe Vazurek visiting with Ag Meteorologist Chris Schromick at Decision Weather Now, as well as WeatherValet. Chris, a little rain in northwest Kansas last night, but for the most part, it kind of went southeast of here.
Yeah, Joe, we were just talking before we came on of how that rain fell apart out in Colorado as soon as it hit the Kansas and Colorado line there yesterday evening and later evening. And it just gave a few points of precipitation, maybe a tenth of an inch for areas in western Rawlins County, Cheyenne County, and western Sherman County. Our counties of Wallace, Thomas, and Decatur got completely left out. And then we did have that front boundary, that cold front that sat all day pretty much from Tribune to Norton. Again, that's where the line of showers and thunderstorms fired late yesterday evening is now moved across into eastern Kansas. And if you were along in that and south and east of it, you could have got anywhere from an inch, maybe up to 2 inches of precipitation in the locally heavy areas, for sure a half inch to an inch type amounts. As that thing moved across Kansas and is still in the southeastern and eastern parts of the state, we saw totals of 5 inches or more in that Lawrence, Kansas City, Leavenworth areas, and that's where we've got flood warnings on the Missouri here this morning. So the state of Kansas picked up a lot of beneficial rainfall with that front and system coming out of Colorado. That also was areas that were starting to trend drier with our longer range and our historical data and our 14-day precipitation totals after a wet June for much of the state. We saw them going 1 to 2 inches behind on the eastern two-thirds. That pretty much got erased with last night's rain, and we'll continue to have daily chances for rain today through the weekend as we've got a high pressure that will develop over the southeastern United States, continuing with this trough to the west and the zonal flow coming off the Rockies, which means we'll have those daily chances for storms in the Midwest and through the plains. And then as we get to early next week and much of next week, that pattern will shift as high pressure will develop over the southern central plains, push the jet flow and the storm track to the northern plains and upper Midwest. And we'll have chances for precipitation every 2-3 days instead of every day as trailing cold fronts will come through the area. So with that setup in mind, we're starting out here this morning, 59 degrees behind the front in Burlington and Goodland, 60 in Colby, 60 in Atwood, 63 in Oberlin, 62 McCook. The winds are from the northeast at 10 miles per hour. Skies will remain cloudy, patchy fog in the morning, so it'll stay cooler through the afternoon. We're going temperatures in the middle 70s, maybe if some sun breaks out to the west along the Kansas-Colorado line, we'll get into the 80s, but for the most part, it will be 70s, and that turns around tomorrow quickly as we'll see temperatures back into the lower to mid-90s. We could be looking at upper 90s, mid-90s on Saturday. One of those trailing cool fronts Sunday, Monday brings us temperatures down just a tad, upper 90s to maybe hitting 100 there Tuesday, Wednesday, before another cool front Wednesday evening. Thursday drops us back down to 90 to 95, and then the cycle will just start repeating itself to the end of the month. We'll be near triple-digit heat ahead of a front. We'll be in that lower to mid-90s behind them. Overnight low temperatures will be in the middle to upper 60s, and all that is pretty typical July weather. The other note we can take a look at is we've had pretty much wet conditions across the state. June, early July, latter part of July looks like it may be drier, but hanging around average. So we could have back-to-back months of June and July locally where we have 4-inch rain totals, which is something we have not seen for very many times since 2000. So it's tending to be drier summers, and if we get 4 inches of rain, which is slightly above normal for June and July, that's good news.
Once again, that's Ag Meteorologist Chris Schromick at Decision Weather Now, as well as WeatherValet for 106.1 KYVZ. I'm Joe Vazurek.